Hello Transformers fans, Adam here, back for another Transformers review with a Studio Series 86 Blaster. Let's get into it. Starting with his accessories, he comes with two of them, the first of which is Blaster's Blaster, so that Blaster can blast the Decepticons. Say that 3 times fast. Alright, we'll put that aside. And his other accessory, for when Soundwave sends his army to attack Autobot City's communications tower, Blaster here can go, "No way, 2 can play!" Push these buttons, open up his tape deck, and launch his own cassette army, including Eject here. I will do a separate video for him, so we'll go ahead and put him aside for now. And we'll focus on Blaster himself here. I know there's been a few versions of him over the years, but this one is hands down the most G1 cartoon accurate, especially with his face. Most of the other versions have a grayish silver color to them, but this one with the white, red, and the blue eyes make him look like what we saw on the show, and the rest of his body is just as accurate. Check out the detail on his chest with this Autobot symbol, the tape deck, the buttons here, the arms, the legs, the 2 speakers, the 2 parts of his handle. Spin him around and there's some compromise on the back here, but not a huge deal. You don't spend a whole lot of time actually looking at that anyway. And for a comparison, let's get G1 Blaster out here. And just look at them. We have definitely come a long way from the old Japanese micro-change toy line, haven't we? So much more smooth and sleek here, as opposed to being stiff and blocky. And much more accurate size-wise for how tall he would have been, as opposed to this right here, which is the size of most G1 combiners. And actual feet, as opposed to these little flaps here. But again, the biggest improvement is the face. So much more G1 cartoon accurate compared to this silver here. Alright, let's move you aside and focus on this one's articulation. So you have the 360 exorcist action with the head here, and make him nod up and down. His shoulders, 360 action, move them up and down. His elbows, bend them up and down, twist them around. His hands are pretty much set in place, aside from when you move them back to transform him, so not really much happening there. But for range of motion with his legs, move them back, move them forward, have him throw a side kick, twist his thigh around, got bend in his knee, and his ankle. Definitely loving this design in bot mode. Now let's transform him and see how he holds up as a boombox. Start by opening up the panel on his back here. Take his head, rotate it back, and tuck it away. Close that back up. Take his hands and rotate them back. Now rotate his forearms around. And then unclip his forearms and rotate them back, just like this. These speakers here, push them in and rotate them around. Push up his feet. And then spin his waist around. Now his legs. Open up these calf panels here. Raise up the panel inside of them. And then rotate his legs around just like this. Spin him around. And we're going to rotate the legs up. There's a little notch right there to tab into place into a little slot right in his arm there. So just make sure that lines up, just like that. And then the fist gets tucked in right here. And just make sure everything clips into place properly. Alright, looking good. Now same with the other one. Just make sure this notch tabs into place here. Alright. Make sure the fist goes into that slot. There we go. And clip everything together nicely. Okay. Now clip this little flap into place. And then finally, raise up the 2 parts of the handle here, and go ahead and clip them together. And there he is as a 1980s style boombox. Let's check him out. Give you a full 360 look here. As far as articulation goes, there really isn't any to speak of because, well, he's a boombox. The only thing you can really do is push the buttons here to open and close this tape deck. So let's get the OG back out here for a comparison appearance-wise. And honestly, this right here is a case where I would say less is more. And that is kind of the going theme when you compare the Studio Series to the OG counterparts. The Studio Series are a huge upgrade in their bot mode, but in their alt mode, there's almost too much detail going on when you compare them to the G1s as far as what they actually look like on the show. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's put you aside, and let's go ahead and transform you back. So, start by unclipping the two parts of the handle here, rotate them back, and clip them back into place down here. Lift up the little flap, and then free up the legs. Bring them back down. Rotate them back around. Rotate these little panels back down, and close up the calf panel. Spin the waist back around. Push in the speakers. Rotate them back around. And to bring the feet back down, I recommend lowering the ankle a little bit. There we go. And then bring the forearms back down, clip them back into place, rotate them back around. Bring the hands back into place. And finally, open up the panel on his back and bring his head back out. And back to a bot. And he will be on display just like this, right next to the OG in boombox mode. And that'll about wrap it up for this video. Join me again for my next one. Until then, take care, Transformers fans.